All right, everybody, welcome. This is Volleyball Champions program, and we're going to go through our activation, pre-court, and pre-workout warm-up routine. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to go for our kneeling lunge and reach. We're just dropping down onto one knee. We have nice 90-degree angles here, up tall. Use this hip to tuck your pelvis underneath, and then we're just up nice and tall here, getting a stretch in that hip. We're reaching up and over with the hand. We're going to do about 10 reps like this. And so we should feel a nice little stretch in the hip here, as well as in the lats. Okay, we're going to switch up, do the other side. There, and I'm just going to go side profile so you guys can see how this looks. Just want to have that nice straight line, shoulder to hip to knee. And just activating the glutes in order to tip the pelvis back and get that stretch. Okay, next one we're going to do, just going to be a wide squat. So feet out turned about 90 degrees, coming down until you get a bit of a groin stretch. And just going to do about 10 reps here. This whole sequence, we're going to do 10 reps in everything. One of the nice things is that you can actually vary that. So if you're in competition before a tournament or something like that, if you don't have quite as much time, you can do a 2 or 3 rep or a 5 rep version. Okay, and then the next one we're going to do is an inline lunge. So this position, feel that little bit of a stretch here, up nice and tall, and just drop the knee straight down. We're going to do about 10 reps. These are good for helping stretch that hip out in order to reduce knee injuries, back injuries. Make sure you can jump fully. Okay, I'll switch up and show side profile. We'll do the other hip. Ten reps enough to get warm. You guys feel that? Okay, so next up we've got an elbow up squat. This one, you can put your hands up on the side of your head, elbows pointing upward, hollow out your abs, drop your butt down. Around this point, it starts to get a little bit challenging, so you'll feel resistance in your upper back. And you might notice that your butt wants to tuck under. That's called the tuck phase in the squat. We're trying to resist that tuck phase. That's where we stop and do a little hold. You notice your hands or your elbows, you come down, your elbows want to go to the side. You try and resist that. Okay. Next up, we got deadlifts. Shoulder width apart, shins are staying vertical. Stand up tall, keep your core nice and hollow. Just tip forward and back. So we're pivoting at the hips. We allow a slight knee bend. Shins stay vertical the whole time. I'll show you from the side. So one of our fundamental athletic movement patterns, learning to really activate the hamstrings and glutes and have a stable, strong spine. Okay. Next up, we've got overhead squats. So in this position, we've just got the elbows straight, hands directly over top of the shoulders, a little bit of core activation, up tall, and then dropping down. We feel that point when the hands want to start coming forward and the butt wants to tuck underneath. That's where we stop. It's a good measure of total body flexibility. You can see we're all a little bit more or less flexible than the other, and that's okay. So it's a bit of a process. As you work on these, you should be able to develop flexibility and optimize flexibility for yourself, which takes several months to years working on these kind of exercises. Okay, next up we're going to go for an alternating reach and twist. This is down on the ground. Going to open the knees up to the sides so you get a bit of a groin stretch here. Drop your butt back and straighten the arms out wide. And take your hand over. So one hand meets the other. Now we're just going to do a little bit of spinal rotation. We're going to do about 5 turns to each side. So still 10 reps total for this exercise. Just gets into some different muscles as we're rotating. Feels great for the shoulder. And let's switch up. Try the other side. This is where, for volleyball players, if you're noticing a difference from side to side, if your hitting arm is a lot tighter feeling, you should be using this stretch a lot and try and work that out. If you have a little bit of shoulder pain, a little bit of pinching feeling, but it seems tolerable in the stretch, it should be okay. If your shoulder's really flared up and really acute and you're in a lot of trouble right now, you shouldn't probably be too aggressive with this stretch. Okay, next one we're going to do is TWYL, good dynamic series. So T position, like this. We're going for about 10 reps. These are a little quicker. Just keeping the chin tucked in, so we're looking straight down towards the ground. Trying to keep the shoulders broad. Gonna go for W, reaching up, and then bringing the elbows down into that W position. Back and forth. Again, keeping the chin tucked in, trying to keep the shoulders broad. The neck muscles relaxed. So you can get a proper recruitment pattern for these muscles. So that's W. And then Y, up in this position, just lifting, hands up off the ground, trying to keep your shoulder blades controlling the movement. If you have trouble with these, you can do, like you're not flexible enough, you can do it this way. Okay, and then we'll do an L, hands and knees, bringing the elbow up to 90-degree position, and back down. This is just warming up some of the rotator cuff muscles a little bit. You starting to feel warm? Okay, now we're going to go for a straight leg raise. 10 reps, lock out the knee, bend the ankle up so your toe is pointing back towards you. You might get a stretch all the way down your leg into the calf. If you are, that's your sciatic nerve, which is often what restricts us, especially when we're going through growth spurts or if we get really tall. It's hard to develop that mobility again. You got to work at it. You're going to go for the other side. And one thing that's important with this one is if you're getting pain in your back, you should ask somebody about that. See a professional. You should not be getting pain in your back in this movement. Okay. Next one we're going to do is a bridge with the ankles and the knees touching together. Just pressing up. Try and hollow out your core. When you're down on the ground, you should feel your back flat, nearly flat onto the ground. And try and maintain that position for your lower back as you press up. So this is really a hip extension movement, not a back extension. Keeping the knees together helps to develop some of the flexibility in the hips, so we need to avoid jumper's knee, patellofemoral pain, all those good flatters, all those chronic knee problems. Okay, next up we're going to go for our side plank. So side plank position with the knees together, and we have the elbow down. If you tuck the chin onto your chest, you can see your belly button in line with the knees. And now we're going to just maintain this position, try and be in a nice straight line, hollowing out, activating the core, pressing the hips forward. This one we'll do for time. Might count 10 breaths. Okay, then we'll switch up. And try the other side. Same thing, if we tuck down. You can see that we're in a straight line here. Belly button down to the knees, and then try and get up into a nice long spinal posture. That's our side plank. And then next one we're going to do is down dog with the heel raise. So kind of a yoga position with a bit of a addition to it. So coming down here, straightening out the upper back and the arms, dropping the chest down. We're going to press up with the knees. Try and keep the back straight, the spine long, shoulders wide, and then we're going to do 10 heel raises. This is great for strengthening the shoulders and the back and warming up the calves at the same time. All right, so that's it. Thanks to Briana and Ian from UBC Volleyball for helping us out.